What's up everyone, and welcome to your Monday's edition of Reptile News. Now I'm going to start off by saying I want to change things up a little bit. I want to start featuring more community-based things in my show. So I'm not 100% sure how to go about it because I really don't hear much that goes on with the community anymore. Truth be told, because of a lot of the drama, I tend to stay away from it nowadays. But anyway, what I'd like to ask every single viewer to do is hit me up on Twitter when you hear something new that goes up. At Reptile411 is my handle on Twitter, or you can message me on Facebook. Just search Daily Reptile News and you'll find it everywhere. And share some stuff that you hear about or know about or do. I mean, a lot of people that watch this show are breeders. I know we got educators. We got all that. So share it. Let me know what's going on. And I want to get some kind of plan together to do some sort of community, I don't want to call it outreach, but I want to start talking about more community stuff on this show, not just reptile news as it is around the world, which we'll still continue to do. We've always done that, but I want to start doing more at the local community level. So yeah, hopefully we can work that out. And we're going to start off today with a story that you guys have probably heard a ton about over the last few days, since last Thursday, I believe it was, where the British fisherman was killed by the sea snake out fishing off the Australian coast, 6 hours off the coast, I believe it was. Now, unfortunately, the man succumbed to the bite before a helicopter could reach him. And this brought up a very interesting topic, you know, and that is the occurrence of sea snake bites and envenomations and fatalities because of those. And now, I read through a lot of statistics, and I understand that sea snake fatalities are, you know, they're a lot rarer than land snake fatalities. And I think one of the reasons is it's the whole dog versus snakes pet thing. I mean, there's more people on land, there's more snakes on land. Your chances of coming in contact with a sea snake, pretty rare, I would assume. Obviously not as rare for some people. This man in particular, from what I understand, was pulling a net up when the sea snake was entangled in the net, which from what I understand, for fishermen in the area that use nets in the area where this happened, it's not too uncommon to pull sea snakes up, but a fatal bite is. So point being, in contrary to what some of the media is trying to do, we definitely don't want to demonize snakes here, and our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the man who passed away in a very unfortunate manner, but those bites are just so rare. And now we're going to move on to the Western Ghats, where this is such a long story, but I'm going to narrow it way down, and you guys are going to have to read if you're interested in it. Apparently over there, they're finding new species of lizards. And one of the really funny things that I found, I'll quote this one in saying that he says, the joy of seeing a lizard, of finding an organism known only from a few lines written in books published hundreds of years ago. Now apparently some of these lizards, such as the rock agma, was they thought a lot of these to be the same species, and they recently discovered that one in particular, the reason why it was so rare and wasn't found is because they were looking on the ground, and they believe this is a treetop dwelling species, which turned out to be completely separate from the ground dwelling one that they've related it to all this time. So pretty cool science news coming out of there. Like I said, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. There's so many big words that I just can't pronounce. And but for those of you that are interested in finding new species, those links are down below. It's very interesting article. A lot of data there on these new species, and just awesome stuff. That it's 2018 and we're discovering new species. I mean, just how amazing is that? And now we're going to move on to Florida, where, I mean, usually we talk about dumb stories out of Florida, and I guess this one's kind of dumb, but it really caught my attention because they're talking about the Florida snake hunt, and they're saying that to date this year, hunters have brought in about 2 miles worth of snakes, 10 tons worth of snakes. And it really got me to thinking, so wait a minute, so 2 miles, so I took the distance in feet, 2 miles, and I divided that by the number of snakes that have been reported so far, which is 1,711, and I came out with each snake averaging 6.1 feet. So you've got to 10,400 some plus snakes divided by 1,711, you come out to 6.1 feet. We'll just round it to 6 feet. And it really got me to thinking about a lot of the shock and awe, if you will, stories that have been running around there for several weeks now about these massive constrictors taking down the whole eastern seaboard. And I understand that most people that are watching this are smart enough, they know enough about these animals to know that this is not really what's happening. But unfortunately, there's so many people out there, voters I might add, who actually are believing these stories. So pass it around to your friends. If you average all 1,711 snakes together, they come out to 6 feet. That's not a giant snake. I understand to a 4-year-old child, a 6-foot snake might be a giant snake, but a 6-foot snake is not a giant snake. And now we're going to move on to really one of the coolest stories that I've read in recent memory, and that is out of British Columbia, where the Canadians are actually attempting to save the western rattlesnake. Now they say out of the 2,000 some odd plus individuals that they believe to still be out in the wild, they're saying that without some kind of interaction, without some kind of people stepping in and trying to conserve or do something, that within the next 100 years or sooner, that species will be locally extinct in that area. And one of the big problems that they're seeing is they're seeing a 3% drop annually in the populations of those snakes due to encounters with automobiles on the road. And apparently it's fairly common up there. I mean, snakes cross the road, they get run over, it happens. I mean, we've all seen it. A lot of us have done it. You know, it's there. You know, it's unfortunate, but it happens when you put human technology mixed with the migration of wildlife and movement patterns and stuff. Animals are going to get run over by cars. It's just going to happen, and unfortunately 99% of the animals on this earth are going to lose against those cars, and that's what's happening up in Canada. Unfortunately, there's a massive number of those that are actually being aimed for by the drivers, which is a very unfortunate thing. It's totally avoidable, and it's just people that have this learned fear. I repeat, learned fear. The fear of snakes is not hereditary. It's not something that's passed down from your grandfather. This was something that you were taught. All fears in general are not hereditary. These are things that you were taught, and it's very unfortunate that this is happening. But now researchers are saying that they want to start building passageways underneath the roads so the snakes can continue on their path and stay away from the roads, which this is extremely amazing to me, because not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago, I don't remember the species and I don't remember the locale, but there was another place that was doing something very similar for frogs, and specifically also for turtles. They were building these big tunnels underneath the roadways where these animals can travel and be about their business and stay away from cars. So my hat is off 1,000% to the Canadians up there. Once again, they're just leaving me in shock and awe that they're doing something like this for the western rattlesnake. And they're saying they don't know if this is going to help at all, but they're going to put some of these passages in, and they're going to monitor them very closely in the next few years and see if it is helping. And I am, for one, I'm extremely excited to hear what the numbers are here in another few years. And that, my friends, is going to be all your news for this Monday. If you'd like to read any more about these stories, those links are right down below here in the description. And as always, if you're still watching, my name is Jason White. Now you know what's going on in the reptile world. Be good to each other, and we'll see you Wednesday.